guys, today I want to show you how to make Glühwein, also known as mulled wine in English. I'm more used to the term Glühwein because I've lived in Germany for about 15 years and that is what it was called, Glühwein. I know, it's hard to pronounce, like most German words. So today I want to make a Glühwein that is easy, simple, and most importantly stress-free. And the best thing is that you can make this with ingredients that you can get from a regular supermarket. So let's start by looking at the ingredients. These are all the possible ingredients that you can use, and the reason why I say possible is that it won't be a disaster if you leave out one or two things, because there are so many different ways to make this, and in the end the most important thing is that you like it and you can adapt it to your personal taste. First of all, you need a red wine, and it doesn't have to be an expensive wine. I got mine today at the LCBO. LCBO, for those who are not familiar with it, is where Canadians mostly get their wine, their liquor, and their beer from. I got a Merlot because that is what many people on the internet making Glühwein suggested to use, but it doesn't have to be a Merlot. It can be any other kind of wine. It would be nice if it had some hints of fruit, but it definitely doesn't need to be a sweet wine because later on we will add brown sugar or honey to sweeten it. The other key ingredient we need, and that I would not leave out, is cinnamon sticks. The next ingredient is star anise, and I'm pretty sure that you can get this at any grocery store here in Canada. And because I really love the taste and the smell of cardamom, I'm also going to add a few pods of these into the Glühwein. And most importantly, you need some kind of sweetener, because I don't think that it would be a real Glühwein or mulled wine if it didn't have a hint of sweetness. You can use honey or brown sugar, but you could even just use plain white sugar. The next thing is citrus fruits. Most people would use orange, but you can also use lemon, so it's really up to you and what your personal taste is. And if you can, try to get organic fruits because we're going to slice this up and include the peel in it. I managed to get an organic lemon because they are sold everywhere, even at the regular grocery stores, but I didn't manage to get an organic orange. And I don't think that it will be such a great deal if you eat non-organic orange peel once a year. Just make sure that you wash your fruit really thoroughly to get most of the pesticides off. And what I like to do, but this is purely optional, is to use a black tea. And here I got a black tea from Tazo, which is actually an organic chai tea. And the great thing is that this tea already has all of the wonderful spices that we want. And I'm just gonna quickly read them to you. This has organic black tea, organic ginger, organic cinnamon, black pepper, organic cardamom, organic cloves, and organic star anise. So mostly all of the things that I already showed you just now. The only thing that I'm unfortunately missing is cloves. I totally forgot to get cloves. So you want to have cloves in your Glühwein because they have this very distinct taste. But luckily I got this tea which has cloves in it, so I'm pretty much covered. And one last optional ingredient to include is vanilla. I read that some people like to include vanilla beans. This is a vanilla powder, vanilla sugar in their Glühwein, but I'm not really so fond of doing that because I feel that the Glühwein itself is already very sweet and this could be a bit too overpowering. And as I said, most of these ingredients are optional, so don't freak out if you're missing one or two ingredients. As long as you got the wine and some of these ingredients, it will turn out just fine and it's better than nothing. So let's make the Glühwein. My goal is to make about 1 liter of Glühwein, which is about 4 cups. And I'm gonna make it half liter of water and half liter of wine. But of course you can add more wine if you want it to be stronger, and vice versa. You can add more water to it if you want it lighter and have less alcohol in it. So I'm gonna use water which I've already pre-filtered with this Brita jug, and I'm gonna pour it into my water boiler just to make things quicker. And by the way, I really love this Bodum water boiler that I got last year. It heats water very quickly and I think that it looks very stylish as well. The water is already boiling and I'm gonna pour it into my pan here, half a liter. And since I'm using the tea, I'm going to pop in 2 tea bags of this into it. But if you're not using any tea, then just skip this step. I'm adding 2 tea bags to it. Just be careful with the paper tags here and make sure they don't get burned. And let it steep for 2 to 3 minutes. It really smells good already. I know, it's just tea. Okay, so the time is up and I'm going to take these tea bags out. I've opened the wine in the meantime, and I think since it was such a cheap wine, it didn't even have a cork, so it was very easy to open. So earlier I said I was going to make 1 liter, so I'm going to use 2/3 of this wine, but I'm not going to be so exact about it. So I'm just gonna pour this wine approximately until here. And actually on the second thought, I could also just use the whole bottle. I'm gonna turn the heat back on, but I'm just gonna set it on a very low because what we don't want to do is to bring it to a boil. I'm adding just 1 of the cinnamon sticks here, but of course you're free to use more if you like it. And also 3 of these cardamom pods. And I'm not even going to open them, crush or grind them because I want my Glühwein to have just a hint of cardamom and for it not to be too overwhelming. And I'm also gonna add a couple of these beautiful star anise. And of course my orange and lemon pieces, which I pre-cut before. And I'm just gonna dump all of these into my Glühwein. And I'm already really liking how this looks. So you can, in theory, get all the spices just from the tea bag, but I think that visually it's much nicer if you have the actual spices in it. And now let's sweeten the whole thing by adding a bit of brown sugar. This has gotten a bit clumpy, but it's okay. And also a bit of honey. I want to be careful not to make it too sweet yet because it's easy to just add on more sweetness to it later. So now I'm just gonna stir this whole thing with a wooden spoon. And that was it. Really easy, right? But don't drink it just yet because the last step that we want to do is to just let it seep for a good half an hour so all these spices can really soak into the wine. So let's set the timer for 30 minutes. And while waiting for this, I just want to share a bit with you why I'm so excited about making this Glühwein. When I lived in Germany and I studied there, drinking Glühwein every year on the Christmas market was an absolute must. And over there, a cup of Glühwein on the Christmas market was pretty affordable. I don't exactly remember how much it was. I think it was a couple of euros and you had to add a couple of more euros because of the mug that you got. So you could decide to keep the mug, or if you return the mug, then you would get like your deposit back. So back then in Germany, I never made my own Glühwein. But then when I moved to Canada, I was looking for Glühwein on the Christmas market and it was also quite good. But I was surprised to find how expensive it was. A very small cup of Glühwein on the Toronto Christmas market cost me about $10. And I know it's $10 and not 10 euros, but still I find it relatively expensive. I've been in Toronto for about 2 years now, and at the end of the first year I went to the Christmas market and just got myself some Glühwein there. But then in the second year I thought, why not just try and make it myself at home so I could enjoy more and it might even taste better at a much lower price. And that is how I started to make my first Glühwein. Meaning that this is just the second time, and no, I'm not a pro, I'm not an expert at this at all. And also now, because of the pandemic, I'm not really sure that the Christmas market will open at all. And even if it opens, I'm pretty sure that there will be a lot of restrictions and so on. So I thought it's a pretty good idea to get a hang of it and just make your own yummy Glühwein at home. Yay, it's done! And now I'm going to turn up the heat just a little so it really gets nice and warm. Prepare some nice mugs. I really like these transparent ones because you can really see the nice color and all the spices in it. And now it's time to try. It looks really good. Okay, just try a bit first. I just got half a cup now because I wanted to see if it's sweet enough or if I needed to add something. And I think it's just right. This is so good, really. Of course, drinking Glühwein outside in the cold weather is just the best. So after making this, I've gotten quite confident about it, and it pretty much seems that even though the Christmas market would open this year, I would not be going there to get any mulled wine or Glühwein because it's very easy to make by yourself and it's cheaper too. By the way guys, some of you might have gotten here through my main channel, but for those of you who don't know about it yet, this is actually my second channel, and my first channel is called Multiple Careers, where I talk about building a fulfilling and meaningful career. If that is something that you might also be interested in, then you might want to head there and check it out. I'm going to leave the link in the descriptions below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you found it useful, then please do hit the subscribe button and also the like button, and I'll see you in the next video. And have an awesome rest of the year.